أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم رب اشرح لي صدري ويسر لي أمري واحلل عقدة من لساني يفقهوا قولي واجعلني وزيرا من أهلي هارون أخي اشدد به أزري واشركه في أمري كي نسبحك كثيرا ونذكرك كثيرا إنك كنت بنا بصيرا لا إله إلا أنت سبحانك إني كنت من الظالمين ربي أوزعني أن أشكر نعمتك التي أنعمت علي وعلى والدي وأن أعمل صالحا ترضاه وادخلني برحمتك في عبادك الصالحين وصلى اللهم على محمد وعلى آله وصحبه أجمعين والحمد لله رب العالمين. Welcome everyone. Inshallah, we will continue with the fruits of belief, which is the 11th Ray 7th topic, page 235. So last time we started discussing on this particular verse in the Quran, and among his signs is this, that heaven and earth stand by his command. Then when he calls you by a single call from the earth, behold, you straightway come forth, which is the section 30 of the Quran, verse 25. So but among his signs is this, that heavens and earth stand by his command. Everything stands by his command. And then when he calls you by a single call, just single call from the earth, behold, you straightway come forth. Very powerful verse. And then the author explained how with the sound of the trumpet, just as the sound of the commander and the sound of the bugle or trumpet, the disciplined soldiers stationed in two barracks spring to arms and their duties. So whenever the trumpet call of Israfil, peace be upon him, summons those lying in death in the vast heavens and in the earth. Are you there? Which are like two orderly barracks for the soldiers of the pre-eternal monarch, obedient to his command. They will immediately don the uniforms of their bodies and rise up. That's interesting. They will immediately don the uniforms of their bodies and rise up. So the way they are, they will rise up. They will wear those uniforms of their bodies, proving and demonstrating this in the same situation displayed by the beings in the barracks, like in division sections of the earth in the spring, at the trumpet blast of the angel of thunder. And from it is understood the infinite grandeur of the sovereignty of dominicality. We're at the top of the page of 235.
We studied this by
right, yeah.
This week.
For the next one. Yeah, okay. I was just reviewing. So,
okay. An introduction.
Yeah. Yeah, so basically we talked about how at the command, everything, just one single command and everybody will come. It's just like the army's kind of example that the author is giving, with a single blast, and then everything is obedient and will just come forth. So I think, we did study. So I will continue, I guess, with the next paragraph, right? This is what we want to talk about, for all those, unless you want me to finish that paragraph. As is proved in the 10th verse, certainly therefore utterly impossible that the realm of the hereafter and arena of the resurrection and great gathering, which are most definitely demanded by that mercy, wisdom, grace, and justice. So they're demanded by that, the resurrection and great gathering. That's interesting. The resurrection and great gathering are demanded by these qualities of mercy, wisdom, grace, and justice. Should not be inaugurated, and for that infinitely beautiful mercy to be transformed into ugly cruelty, and for that boundless perfection of wisdom to be turned into infinitely faulty futility and purposeless wastefulness, and the sweet grace to be transformed into bitter treachery, and that finely balanced and equitable justice. So the mercy, so transformed to beautiful mercy to be transformed into ugly cruelty, boundless perfection of wisdom to be turned into infinitely faulty futility and purposeless wastefulness. If there's no such resurrection, there's no great gathering. And that sweet grace to be transformed into bitter treachery. And that finely balanced and equitable justice to be turned into severe tyranny. And that utterly powerful and majestic eternal sovereignty to decline. Like the sovereignty to decline, that's impossible. And with the resurrection not occurring for it to lose all its splendor, and for the perfections of its dominicality to be marred by impotence and defect, this would be completely unreasonable and a compounded impossibility outside the bounds of possibility and false and precluded. So we kind of touched upon this last time, like the description of how, in a symbolic way of the verse, how that great gatherings scenario is depicted in this particular verse. Among his signs that the heavens, everything stands by his command, and just by a single trumpet call, and how I think the Quran and the Hadith mention about, the trumpet call of Israfil and angel of thunder, single blast, and everything. And we see the signs, for example, in spring, after winter, when all those green leaves, flowers, plants, trees, just all of a sudden they just rise up and become green and living kind again. And then, of course, if it doesn't happen, it's interesting that, all that what we've been experiencing is just something wastefulness. Like if there's no such resurrection, there's no accountability, no great gathering. So what's this purpose of this life again? If it's not to go into and be accountable for what we do in our living here. So the second paragraph continues on, for all those with intelligence would surely understand what a cruel unkindness it would be. What a cruel unkindness it would be, having nurtured man so solicitously and given him through faculties like the heart and intellect a sense of longing for eternal happiness and everlasting life in the hereafter, to dispatch him to eternal non-being, Whoa. And how contrary to wisdom it would be, having attached hundreds of purposes and instances of wisdom to only his brain, to waste through endless death all his faculties and his abilities with their thousands of purposes, thus making them devoid of all use, purpose, and result. Purpose and result. And how utterly opposed to the splendor of that sovereignty and perfect dominicality it would be by not carrying out his thousands of promises. How opposed to the splendor of that sovereignty and perfect dominicality that you're enjoying, you and I, we're all enjoying here. It would be by not carrying out his thousands of promises to demonstrate, God forbid, his impotence and ignorance. You may make an analogy with these for grace and justice. Thus, the names of most merciful, all just, all wise, munificent, and ruler answer with the above truths the question we asked our Creator about the hereafter and prove it as indubitably and clearly as the sun.
I wonder why people need to deny the hereafter or next resurrection.
I need it though.
Sorry?
I need it.
Yeah, I need it. That is my fact. But still, I prefer to deny it.
How would you want to deny it?
Yeah, they deny it not because it doesn't make sense. It is against human nature. For example, if I tell you, Hasha, Hasha, kill your father. You would say, no, never. Not my father, even a man in the street, I wouldn't do that. Yeah, this is against human nature.
It doesn't
But
fit. Yeah.
hereafter is not against human nature. That's what we want. As the text says, heart wants it, it means feelings. Feelings was happiness. Mind, intellect wants it. It means there must be it is reasonable to continue my existence, to have a happy life. It rationally makes sense. Why? No one will say, not because of his feelings, his reasoning also says, there must be a purpose in this existence, and there must be a purpose in the way the things are created. Why people still say no? I see two reasons from two different perspectives. Those people who deny God, they have to reduce life on earth, and they have to say only the universe exists. Within the universe we die. Within the universe there is no second resurrection. Wow. They say, although I want it, as you said, I desire, but it is false desire. It is just wishful thinking, they say. Right? Why? Because they say existence happens by itself. Why do they say that? Because they want to, they don't want to accept that they are created by someone. They have to be in debt to him, to the one, purposefully. For example, if I am a very arrogant man, and if I am invited somewhere, which our reality is we are invited to this world. Somebody brought us here, or we are happened here. If we found everything ready. Yeah.
Very interesting.
And if I am arrogant, if I found something, apparently there is no one who claims that I own it. What I would, my egoistic tendency, eat and say, that's my luck. I am free now to do everything I want. But if someone says, definitely that somebody prepared it to you here. And the one who brought me here prepared this one to me. Because I need it, and it also satisfies my need. It's a correlation. So if this one, if I say, which is logical, there must be somebody. Of course, human beings look for this person, search for this person, try to find out and express his gratitude. It needs humbleness, modesty. And only the reason, not because it doesn't make sense, arrogance. Not to accept the creator. After deciding I'm not going to accept anybody who owns this universe and prepared it for me, and as the text says, promised. All my feelings, all the things that I am given is a promise from whoever prepared this universe, the creator of the universe, and saying, I am merciful, as the names are mentioned here. I am just. I am wise. I am munificent. I am the ruler. It means I am the owner and administrator of this universe. So acknowledge me. Do nothing, but acknowledge me. That's I am. If arrogancy, the arrogant people cannot accept the creator, definitely, inevitably, they have to insist that the universe exists by itself. by itself. Inevitably, because there is no other third alternative. Do you understand the psychology behind it? That's what I guess.
So two alternatives is what we have. Either
that is one. No,
arrogance is one, and then the humbleness is the opposite of that.
No. Arrogance is the result of not being humble. Not being is the result of arrogance. Mm-hmm. It means egocentric concerns, interpretations, everything. The thing didn't happen as I want, for example, reject and also rebel. Whoever is doing this, because it is going against my arrogant, egoistic concern, not because it doesn't make sense. Mm-hmm. Now, whoever commits a crime, the Dulce argues this. What does he wish? If only there was no police, court system, justice, law, which will punish me.
Freedom.
It feels that's what he wants. But he doesn't think that if I did something wrong, a crime, committed a crime, I am a criminal, I need to be taken into account and pay for it. If I did something good, I need to be appreciated. Yeah, that is human expectation. That's what we are expecting from our Creator. But we don't want to be punished, but we love to be appreciated. Correct? Oh, I did something, no one is recognizing it, etc., etc. We want to be seen by people, and everybody must applaud for us. That is what human nature. But we know that the arrogance is the reason to run away from punishment. Now, the two reasons, one is this: arrogance causes denial of the Creator, results in denying the another existence, because in the universe there is no another existence. Now, but the Creator also, the Quran doesn't say that there will be another existence in the universe. No, this order of the universe will be completely changed, and there will be another creation where there is a completely different order. So it is different now. How about another aspect of this matter? Believers. They feel that they are not arrogant, but they don't want to be punished because they are guilty. They did something wrong. They didn't obey. They didn't think enough to the one who provided all the goodnesses here. And there will be an hereafter, but I am afraid of death. Why? He thinks of being punished. That's what the Quran always says. I am merciful. I forgive. Turn to me. Tawbah. Yeah, turn to me. The Quran uses this. And ask for forgiveness. I will forgive. Promise you. Yeah. So, قُلْ يَا عِبَادِيَ الَّذِينَ اسْرَفُوا عَلَىٰ أَنفُسِهِمْ. You know the verse, ayat. Tell my ibad, my human beings, those who wasted their human qualities. اسْرَفُوا عَلَىٰ أَنفُسِهِمْ.
Israf.
Inni qareeb, or I don't remember the following of them. Do you remember? قُلْ يَا عِبَادِيَ الَّذِينَ اسْرَفُوا عَلَىٰ أَنفُسِهِمْ. Sorry?
Inni qareebun mujib.
No, there. Something else.
No.
Whatever.
Does anybody remember? You can just post it.
You can check. Yeah, it means I am near you. I am with you, and I forgive. You know, jami'an, all sorts of sins. I forgive sins. I forgive.
Mm.
It means believers' wrong actions. If only they ask for forgiveness. Now, I am always Ghafurur Rahim. Now, that is why Quran says, because of our sins, we don't want to face the death. So as a result, we don't look forward eternal life. That prevents us to strengthen our belief in the hereafter. Leaves it weak because we don't want to go there. It is interesting. But the Quran says, yes, there is an hereafter, but I'm afraid of death because I'm sinful. That is the thing the believers must be careful about. Yes, I may be rewarded, I may be punished, but God always says that I forgive you, turn. That's very important. Yeah. And also there is another word, ayat on the Quran, don't insist your wrongdoings. Don't insist on it. Israr. Maybe in Urdu language you use israr. Insist on it. You are familiar with this, a Quranic word. They don't insist on their mistake. It was, I did a mistake. I made a mistake. All right. I admit. But it was a mistake. All right. Human beings are somehow not perfect and fallible. So we fall from time to time, but we can recover. Huh? I'm not going to do it again. Please, my Allah, my God, I made a mistake and I promise I will try my best to do. But even we may fail again, but we have to go back again. This will be a prayer. We would like to, I promise you that we will discuss this. This will be a prayer for Allah's help, not within the established or the order of the universe. That was your question in message.
Oh, yeah.
Do you remember? What does it mean? Now, we have to understand that. Look, I always give this example. I am in an airplane or a train. Yeah. I am free to go back, forth, right, left, sit, stand up, run, drink, go to the toilet even. Yeah, free. But we all know that the plane is under the control of the pilot. Whatever I am free inside the airplane, but airplane is under the control of somebody else. Whatever I do there, I seem to be free. Yes, I am free within the airplane, but I cannot change the direction and the destination of the airplane or train. What does it mean? We all know that the owner of the universe, as the word is used here, what did they say? Ruler.
Mm-hmm.
No. All views, everything, is the one who created the universe, who established the order, and he is not, this is the answer, be careful. Yeah, that was your question, that's what I'm saying. He is not bound, he shouldn't be bound by his order he established. Now, although the ways are created, follows the order, but the way the airplane goes is under there is a verse in the Quran, ayah in the Quran, which says, بيده مقاليد كل شيء. With him, the reins of everything. So he is absolutely limitless. What he does, he adjusts everything in such a way that you don't realize, I don't realize, but my prayer becomes accepted. So he is the one, people's heart is in his hand. There's also ayah in the Quran, verse in the Quran. He changes the heart. For example, you keep saying that I must be like this, I must be doing this, I must be doing this. What does it mean? Your psychology starts developing on this way. This is Allah's rule. But normally everything is the same. They didn't change. But hearts are in his hand. He changes the heart. He turns the hearts. We have to know this. We think that the universe doesn't change. Yeah, the material side of the universe doesn't change. My prayers are accepted. For example, they call it, the materialist people call it, body metabolism adjusts itself according to your continuous following the same pattern of life. For example, if you have 8 o'clock in the morning breakfast, whatever happens, when it approaches around 8 o'clock, you start feeling hungry. They call it body clock. For example, if you are regular, which my wife was, it is interesting. Sleeps this time, wakes up this time. I wasn't that regular, I admit. I was busy with other things outside. I couldn't really keep my promises. I'm going to go to bed at 10 p.m. Something happened, there is a guest or something, I have to sit with him, or I have to go somewhere to a meeting, come back at 11, 12, right? I couldn't keep it. That's why I had to set the clock, alarm clock. She didn't have to. Why? When the regular time comes, she wakes up. There's no alarm clock. What did? Body is adjusted. They say this is body metabolism. No. That is the naming of it. In fact, the result of the prayer accepted by God because of the consistency in your asking. I want to go to bed at 10, wake up at 6 a.m. Insist this prayer. This is action-wise prayer. And also verbal prayer also conditions you. It means convinces your feelings to turn its face to distraction. Keep repeating, praying, keep repeating consciously. For example, I have a weakness. Everybody has. I have many weaknesses. Weakness in my character. If I keep saying that I'm not going to do this again, I'm not going to do this again, but keep doing it. But I'm not going to do this again. At the end, my prayer is accepted. How? My feelings start turning to this direction now because of the prayer. How about the order of the universe? Did it change? No. But order of the universe is such that although material existence, the order of the material existence doesn't change, but there is another aspect which is called in the belief in qadar, belief in divine determining. There are two things that, two aspects of qadar that one of them is known to everyone. Qadar badihi. It is called.
It's based on the order that we observe.
For example, if I step on it, it's very weak, I know. If I step on it, it breaks. Qadar badihi. I will step on it, wouldn't break. No. But qadar nazari. It means theoretical side of it, which is not physically observable. For example, That's a typical example. I will repeat, maybe I mentioned this before. A farmer planted the seed. Does it have to grow into a plant?
No.
Why? A bird comes and eats it. Can you stop? Can you guess? When a worm comes and eats it under the soil. Yeah, you can put medicine or some sort of, I don't know. But still, it may not. You cannot guarantee because unknown. Many things are in the world is unknown. Now, what God arranges the unknown side of it. For example, the Prophet ﷺ says, Sadaqah, given to charity, prolongs your life. It's an example. It's an example. You are climbing. This example is in Islamic literature very much, very often repeated. You are climbing on a ladder, but there is a step up there. It's broken, but you don't see it. It's cracked. When you step on it, you will die, fall and die. Do you know it? You didn't see it. No. There is a knock at the door. Example, typical example. And said, oh, no, I'm very hungry. Do you have something to eat? You say, okay, I have. You go back and give. Sadaqah. Come back. When you come back, it happens that it cracks, attacks your crack. But it could not. That's unknown. You may pay attention to it, you may not. But this is in the hands of Allah. So in the physical order didn't change. But Allah arranged your side in such a way that you saw it. You say, oh, accidentally I saw it. You say, accidentally. The Quran says there is no accident. There is no accident. Of course, there is no accident is obvious in the order, but there is no accident in another aspect of the order that we don't know. We cannot know. How would you know that an ant will come and do something? How would you know? Can you follow it? Can you write a formula for it? Equation for it? That ant comes here, doesn't go there. No. It comes and do it. Or another thing, I don't know, season change, a wind comes. Yeah. Possible?
Mm-hmm.
And locusts, I think, locusts, locusts, when the locusts come, they come like a cloud. Eat everything and go in one night, finish, or daytime, doesn't matter. Can you follow? Can you protect? Now, we forget that this aspect of the order is unknown to us. It is under the control of the one who is ruling over the universe. And the order of the universe is established by him, but he is not slave of the order. We are slaves of the order. He is the establisher of the order. That's why we have to understand. It is in my mind. This morning I said, this way we have to talk this one. Because how would you know that our prayer is accepted? You are driving. Can it happen anytime, any kind of accident? Even you are careful, somebody can hit you. Mm-hmm. Possible?
Yeah.
How can you guarantee? You can be defensive, driver. Yeah, but can you guarantee that the drunk man will come and hit you? You see a lot of cars on the corner, especially on the corner. The car is safe. Morning you come back, what happens? Oh, somebody bumped into it. Why? A man driving fast, drunken man, for example, or a man who had taken drugs, uncontrolled, hit your car. Can you guarantee?
That's all arranged.
These kind of events are in the hands of the creator of this universe. That is why we shouldn't expect an obvious miraculous creation to show that, okay, now awesome, I accept your prayer and you will not make this mistake again. There is no such thing. So everybody is treated according to their prayers. If you study mathematics, you become familiar and it becomes easier and easier for you to solve the problems. Why? Because you have been doing a lot of exercises. But people like me never studied mathematics really, but I studied arithmetic, not mathematics. So if I see the equation, I don't understand anything. Yeah. If I see the equation, I don't understand anything. Why? I didn't pray for it. When I pray, I study, what happens? My comprehension is answered. It is a prayer. Studying is a prayer to create the result to Allah. Allah keeps it as long as you pray. You stop praying in other things. For example, if I keep repeating something, it becomes as if my second nature. As if. Yeah? I become very familiar. Mm-hmm. The first time you do something, repair something, takes 1 hour. A man who is expert on the subject makes it in 10 minutes. Fixes the matter in 10 minutes. Why? Continuous prayer is answered, and his as a result of his answer, the way the things became easy for him. So that is why we have to know that prayer is definitely answered, but we don't know how and where, on which way. We don't know. If we knew it, we will say, okay, it means everything, the ghaib becomes apparent. And there is no need to make any research, any investigation in order to believe in ghaib, reality of ghaib, because I know it is there. There is no need. Finish. I'm sure of it. And we stop developing. We stop improving ourselves. We say, I know there is no need. For example, miraculously, you solve all the problems. Yep. Will you need to study mathematics and learn more? You solve all the problems miraculously. Right? Do you need to work for it? Miraculously, you get the answer. Yeah. For example, in your field, technology, you know how the machine works and the program works. Miraculously, you didn't study. And miraculously happens, you know. Will you study? Will you pay attention? No. Will you develop your ability? Will you get ready for the akhirah? No. Because miraculously happens. Well, that is why nothing apparently miraculously happens to human beings, because God is telling this way, although he responds to our prayers, but saying that you have to keep struggling for it. You have to keep developing your human abilities. Did you get it? Does it make sense? So prayer is sincerely must be done, because know that the Quran promises, Allah promises in his speech and also in his physical creation. But physical creation has two aspects, but the Quran has one aspect. Ud'uni astajib lakum. Pray to me, I will definitely respond. But I will respond how? As you wanted, miraculously give the result. Yep. No. The way you don't know, it is responded. Because the universe is under the reign of its creator, not me. So we have to be careful about how to locate the matters. We shouldn't have one kind of understanding of creation. We shouldn't have a creator who, God, Allah, created the universe, and he is, okay, outside of the universe, and universe, the airplane, in our example, airplane, is going automatically, like they say, what? You had one.
Autopilot.
No, that's without any
Drone.
drone, like a drone. But it is under the control of program.
Mhm.
Okay. Still, you cannot have accidentally drone working this way or that way, because you have the thing remote controlling it. Still, there is a power behind it. There is an agent, conscious agent behind it, even if it's a drone. But impossible to think that there is no agent, but something is really acting itself consciously. Impossible, because matter cannot have consciousness. I mean, this is a very important point. But as far as our subject, this was the question. As far as our subject is concerned, we have to pay attention that as believers, we have to be very careful. We shouldn't turn our heart black towards the fact that there is an eternal life, resurrection. Because if I don't want to go there, I always look for any reason to be suspicious about it, because I don't want to go there. For example, there is a police system. If I commit a crime, what my heart says, I hope there was no police system. Hope. Although I know, logically I know there is, but I don't want to encounter it. And this tendency makes me or turns me into an anarchist. Why? I start saying that justice system is not working properly. It must be abolished. You understand? Because of the tendency, because of the prayer, if you like, denies the reality there. Why? Because we turned a black heart to the reality that Judgment Day exists. Rather than denying it, rather than denying it, we have to try to correct ourselves and keep praying so that it will become our second nature, inshallah. I think you have some more
Thank you.
questions.
So thank you for all this. The question was mostly about, is it something that my relationship with the creators is at a different level realm?
Yeah.
And the relationship with the order is obviously within the universe. And at the same time, through this order, I do develop a relationship with my creator. There was something that you were mentioning about. And so let me rethink what you shared. It's
Whatever, forget about the past. Today, does it make sense?
this. No, no, that
All right,
makes sense.
hello. Forget about the past. Even say that Ali told last week something wrong. I accept. But today, does it make sense or not? Because that was our specific topic today that we mentioned. It was past, say past. What was it? By the way, we talked about. But today we want to cover the subject as much as we know. Alhamdulillah. So I'm done. Okay.
Okay. Thank you. Anybody else? Anyone? wants to give comment? You have anything?
Yep.
Okay.
All these qualities, mercy we observe here, justice we observe here, are, or what was it? His thousands of promises. His thousands of this is, if he see any wisdom in creation, it is a promise that the universe has, the creator is wise, and he doesn't create universe for nothing. Must be there must be a wisdom in it. It's a promise that this wisdom requires, he gives you everything and then kills you. It is against wisdom. No, there's something wrong. In my understanding, there's something wrong. That's what we have to understand, the promise from the manifestations of the names of Allah.
So all the manifestations of names that
is
we
a
get
promise.
are promises.
They
that
are
we get.
promises from God.
So if I'm having my breakfast, I see provision, I see
So this is a
kind of,
promise.
those are promises.
So if you see that, for example, an ant has its balance in its existence, is the promise that I am wise and I am merciful and I provide everything what I create. For example, ant needs legs, but snake, no. For example, bird needs wings. How about the snake? No. If it needs it, it will be another creation and everything will be provided according to its need. Now, it is impossible to think that God will create an animal whose stomach digests only plants, vegetables, not meat. No, the teeth is provided for this purpose. For example, a lion or panther feeds on what? Uncooked meat. What do they have? Teeth. Provided to do the job perfectly. Why? That is justice. That is balance. That is mercy. Everything. That is wisdom. So these are all promises that what you need now, eternal happiness, promised. That's the promise will be fulfilled because we know that God is wise, God is merciful, God is just, etc. Yeah. Inshallah.
Inshallah. Thank you. All right, so let's move on. Moreover, we observe that prevailing over everything is a vast and comprehensive preservation which records in their seeds. On the tablets of the world of similitudes, in their memories, which are tiny samples of the preserved tablet, and particularly in the faculty of memory, which is a tiny library in man's brain, which is at the same time very large. And in other mirrors, physical and non-physical, in which they are reflected, the numerous forms of all living creatures, physical and non-physical, in which they are reflected, so everything, all the mirrors, the numerous forms of all living creatures and all things, and the notebooks of the duties they perform in accordance with their essential natures. And the notebooks of the duties they perform in accordance with their essential natures, and the pages of their deeds pertaining to the glorifications they perform towards the divine names, glorifications they perform through the divine names, towards the divine names through the tongues of their beings. It inscribes them in these and records and preserves them.
Now, this is interesting have you ever seen any animal, any plant,
Mhm.
or even a galaxy, whatever?
Mhm.
For example, feeds on certain kind of food. Not everything eats everything. No, every animal is feeding or are feeding on certain kinds of food. For example, we cannot eat what lion eats. We cannot eat what mice eat. Can we? We can.
Mhm.
We cannot eat corpse like the eagle eats.
Oh yeah.
Why? Now, but this is with their essential nature, they perform in accordance with this essential nature provided by the creator. But what the material is turned into, that is instinct. Who is arranging the instinct? Who and how the line developed in such a way by itself, accidentally, and it developed as soon as it is born, it knows what it is going to eat. It knows what it is going to eat. And we see that digestive system is accordingly adjusted. Teeth are accordingly adjusted. You see the old eyes are accordingly adjusted because they feed on certain animals that they have to see. See that some certain animals feed on something they smell, accordingly they know. Everything is perfectly adjusted by the creator because he's a just creator.
Mhm.
He will create an animal but doesn't know what to eat. Can you imagine? Can you think of anything? He will create a star and doesn't know how to adapt itself to the galaxy. They are adjusted, perfectly arranged. But this, materialist, stupid people say it is instinct when it is related to animate beings. How about the inanimate beings? An unknown word. It is natural. What does it mean? Unknown word. What does it mean? Instinct. What does it mean? Where did you get it? How the matter developed into instinct. So you're born with it, and as soon as you're born, you know what to eat. None of the animals learns I should eat this, even the human beings. Nobody learns that I shouldn't eat earth, for example. How it is? We are provided with it. This word attracted my attention. They perform their duties in accordance with their essential natures provided by Allah, because it is in the context,
Mhm.
by the divine name is manifested in their creation, etc.
Right. So their deeds pertaining to the glorifications they perform towards the divine names
Yeah,
through the tongues of their beings.
yeah,
So the way they are created, first of all, they are created by
yeah.
specifically the way.
Arranged, everything is perfect arranged. So we must know that there must be a purpose for it.
Mm.
My feelings, my mind are also perfectly arranged for accepting and being aware of the necessity of the creation of a permanent life.
Yeah. So it's interesting. So it inscribes them in these and records and preserves them. So all those beings, everything is also there. Everything is preserved.
Yeah.
Thus, not just human beings, acts and deeds, but every other creature is also preserved
Preserve. Yes, yes, must be.
because there's all glorifications that's happening. All right, then when the time comes every spring, which is a flower of divine power,
Mhm.
divine power. They display to us all those immaterial inscriptions in physical form. They display to us all those immaterial inscriptions in physical form, proclaimed to the universe with millions of tongues within that supreme flower, and with the strength of millions of examples, evidences, and samples, the wondrous truth of resurrection expressed in the verse, when the pages are spread out. Quran section 81, verse 10. When the pages are spread out. It proves most cogently that foremost man and all living beings and all things were created not to topple over into nothingness.
Not to fall into nothingness.
We're created not to fall into nothingness, to fall into non-existence, to be annihilated, but to win immortality through progressing. Progressing is an interesting word. Immortality through progressing, and permanence through being purified, and to take up the eternal duties required by their innate capacities. Yes, we observe every spring that the innumerable plants which die in the doomsday of the autumn, and all the trees, roots, seeds, and grains in the resurrection of the spring recite the verse, seeds, grains, in the resurrection of the spring, recite the verse when the pages are spread out.
Looks like spring, looks like a resurrection. Yeah, I mean, it's an example that the Creator is giving the examples to us so that it will make sense to our minds, so our heart will be satisfied.
Expounding each in its own tongue.
No, when the pages are spread out, this is the verse. It's very important. وَإِذَا الصُّحُفُ نُشِرَتْ. I mean, classically, how is understood? Classic scholarship tells that when the وَإِذَا الصُّحُفُ نُشِرَتْ, human deeds are recorded, and in the resurrection day, human deeds will be spread in front of his eyes. Yes, I will experience it. I will see what I have done. That is correct. But in this world, it is going to happen in the hereafter. How about in this world? And the author says, the spring, when the seeds, eggs, grains spread out what they have what it is inscribed in them, and it becomes apparent. This is grain. I don't know what it is. I don't know what is there. What is it going to be? For example, however you are a winner of, I don't know, Nobel Prize, Nobel laureate, laureate,
yeah.
Laureate, I think, whatever the word is, Nobel Prize winner in biology or in botanics, you come across with a seed that you don't recognize. You haven't seen it before, which seed it is, on which tree or plants the seed it is. Can you examine everything in it that you can know that, the tree is going to be like this? Out of tree or plant or whatever. Maybe it is an egg of an animal, you don't know. So after experiencing it, and they said, we know how the things are happening. No, you don't. Because you are seeing when the pages are spread out. It's a beautiful way of understanding the words. Where is that? Read the classical tafsir and you will see it. They say this correct, not wrong, but very limited. Only human actions. That is correct. But It is in this world observable everywhere in the world. Come to spring, resurrection day of the earth, every script, books, suhuf, the pages, it is books,
It's open.
records. It records in their inscribed nature. So Allah creates in this way. So God gave this, and when the spring comes, they shoot out. Here I am. I have this kind of plant or animal, whatever it is. And then the botanist says, "Oh, I know." The second time, when this is the same seed, I know what it is. And claims that he knows how nature works. Doesn't say that
It's cheating.
how the creator arranged everything as an example, in this case, example of the resurrection, that human beings will be satisfied. Look, out of a seed, huge tree comes out. Yeah, out of a small egg, an animal comes out. Wonderful animal. You don't see even the egg of the animal. Yeah, one fish, when they really, how do they say, lay eggs? How many eggs they lay? 1 million or something, they say.
Wow.
So one fish is enough to revive the whole world. So what does it mean? Resurrection is happening when God adjusted. In this world, it's adjusted, but also we know that the Creator is able to do this. So he promises that he will create my resurrection when I die and use my life, my being, as a seed of my eternal life.
Say that again.
So
So my life.
use my record of my life
Mhm.
as including in it memory. What is the memory? One cell or whatever. Very, very small. But what is written in it? A library, as the text says. A library, thousands of books are written in it, right? It's possible we understand now because of the chips and whatever,
Mhm.
silicon, whatever they make out of it. So we know that centuries ago, no one knew it. But the Quran says, yeah, we can record everything in one of your cells. Yeah. Example, your brain, your memory, the cell of memory in your brain. Example. But look, I'm giving the example. That is the one I did. Why now say that no, it cannot happen? Yes, according to your capacity, your power, it cannot happen. According to the creator of the universe, creator of the seeds in this world, it is as easy as everything else. Even creating the universe is no difficult at all.
The analogy you gave about sowing a seed, we don't know what kind of seed or plant it's gonna be.
After it, if we haven't experienced before. Yeah. So what does it mean? What does it mean? This, even materially, we see no sign of it. Even DNA. We read the DNA, and what do we know? After it comes out, we know what it is. And through the experience, go back. If there is a chromosome lined in this way in the DNA scripture, which is also a memory. Memory, like human memory. Memory of that creature. So when they say, because we experienced, if this happens in this way, the result is created in the order of the universe. They don't say created, they say naturally happened in this way. So I see in your chromosome in the same position, you are going to have a baby which will have a heart problem. Not because of the sign that they have seen, because of the result they experience. That's why they can read the sign. This is what I mean. So it means human beings cannot arrange it, but if they investigate, creator reveals it in order to show that he can create out of a huge tree, no, out of a small seed, let's say that, a fig seed, for example, a huge tree. And every year it gives lots of fruit. It means in the resurrection, how my limited time will result in paradise, eternal life. Not in hell, we don't want that. Although there is life of eternal there too. But we are interested in paradise. Inshallah, God willing. So how is it going to be eternal? Look what is going here in front of your eyes. This is the one who is going to make it. Why do you lose your trust in it? It's example in front of you, demonstrate it. Yeah. Sorry.
Alhamdulillah.
As
MashaAllah.
usual, I'm speaking a lot.
MashaAllah.
Oh, man, the time is up.
Okay. Any comments by anyone?
Yeah. We did it when
Yeah,
the
so
page
when the
starts.
pages are spread out. Yeah.
Okay.
I think we can stop here.
Oh, maybe we can read. He is the intervene. Yeah. No.
Expounding
Yeah, this
each.
complete the subject actually. I mean, in أول هو الأول والآخر والظاهر والباطن. Now he is the last. No. Where are we?
We're in just a paragraph before
No,
it.
but he is the first and the last and the evident is Dahir
And the
and
inward.
inward pattern. Then, okay. Now let's finish the first.
Okay.
Yeah, inshallah.
So expounding each on its own tongue, one meaning of the verse, one facet of it, with examples of the duties it performed in previous years. All those seeds, grains, roots, all testify to the vast preservation. They display in everything the four vast truths of the verse. He is the first and the last, the evident and the inward. Quran section 57, verse 3. And instruct us with the ease and certainty of the spring.
Yeah. Inshallah, next week we can start the first, the last, and the evident, and
Inshallah.
the
Bismillah.
inward. Inshallah, whatever. So we know that it's a verse, eh?
Yes.
Yeah, but although it's not narrated here as a verse.
Oh, here it is.
Whoever will. Yeah. Sorry. Oh, yeah.
Yes.
57.
57, 3.
Yep. Okay. Thank you.
All right. Thank you, everyone. Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim. Subhanaka la ilma lana illa ma 'allamtana innaka antal alimul hakim. Wa akhiru da'wahum alhamdulillahi rabbil alamin.